Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. I'm Salwa of Cape Malay Cooking and Other Delights. Today I'm going to show you how to make my Kool Frikkadel or oumense onder komberse recipe. I thought this is a perfect recipe to teach you or to show you how to make it. It being Heritage Day and the Heritage Month is almost coming to an end. So I thought it's a perfect way of ending our Heritage Month celebrations. So I've come across many versions of this recipe online. I've come across a Polish one, a Hungarian one, a German one, and so many others as well. So I'm curious to know where does it originate from originally, and how come it's one of our traditional heritage recipes. So I'm going to find out more about this recipe. In the meantime, here's my recipe, and let's get cooking. Okay, so now we're ready to cook. I've got my pot heating up here and I'm just adding a bit of oil in the pot. It's about 2-3 tablespoons of oil, and then I'm going to add my cloves, about 4 cloves, make it 5, just one for good luck, and 3 stick cinnamons. And wait for the oil to warm up, and then I'll be adding my chopped onion. So I've roughly chopped my onion. I didn't cut it very fine. It will cook away. So we just add the onion to the oil. And I'm making enough for about 4 people. But obviously you can adjust the recipe according to your family's needs and the size of your family. And I have to apologize to the birds. Well, not really apologize, they're part of our family. They always make a lot of noise in the background whenever someone is talking, so they want to be louder than the person. So we just wait for the onions to turn brown, and already the smell is coming out of the cloves and the cinnamon with the oil and the onions. I firmly believe, especially when making vegetable food, that less is more. Less spices, which gives a chance for the natural taste of the vegetables to come out in the food if you add less spice in as well. And with the meat and the other ingredients that's going in, you don't need a lot of spice. You can add chili now as well, a green chopped chili if you prefer it. If not, then you can leave it out as well. I prefer to make my food without chilies, and but always serve it with the achar afterwards, which makes up for the loss of spiciness or chilliness in the food. Because I myself don't like spicy food, and when you're cooking for children as well, you don't want it to be too spicy. Now you can see the onions are turning to brown nicely. We want the onions to be as brown as possible to keep the nice depth of color to the food. So we're almost going to braise the onion until almost burning point. As soon as you put the meat in, the color will change. So don't worry about the color of the onions at this stage. So as you can see, it's turning very brown. So now I'm going to put my meat in. I've got about 300 grams of lamb, mixed lamb here. Add a splash of water and put the lid on and let it cook for about a minute or 2. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. So this has just been cooking for about 2-3 minutes, and you can see it's got a nice deep brown color. Just going to add drops of water And this is what you want, this deep brown color. Just adds extra flavor to the food. So this is a dish you can prepare ahead of time, the day before. It tastes extremely good, if not better, the day after you've made your food. So now I'm just going to top it up with water. Turn the heat lower and leave the meat to cook until it's soft. Okay, so yeah, I've got 2 of these sweetheart cabbages. Got the cabbage with a point, so I've took some of the outer leaves off already, so I'm just going to continue with the other one. I might not use both cabbages, might be too much, so I'll see as I go along. I'll take about 8 or 10 of these outer layers off to wrap around the frikkadel, and the rest I'm going to chop up. So I'm just going to cut this stalk off at the back, cut them off. Take this hard stalk part off. Let's put that one side, and then I'm going to try and chop take another piece of the rod off, core off, and then I'm going to chop it as fine as possible. So this is going to make the base of your Kool Frikkadel. It's going to be the sauce mixed with the meat. And this is what adds the depth and the flavor as well to the food. I'll just take this one as well and do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to boil a kettle of water. I'm going to add these cut cabbage into the colander and pour the boiling water over the cabbage so it can become soft. And like my mother used to say, you take the wild taste or the villainous of the cabbage leaves, you take it out. And if you've got a food processor, you're welcome to use that to chop your cabbage. I think I'm going to take another bit, just this odd few leaves though. Because the cabbage is going to shrink as well in the pot. So as I said, I'm cooking for 4, so I'm not using everything. Just always see that you remove this hard part of the cabbage. This gives a very bitter or frank taste to the food. So remove that. I'm going to add this into a colander now and pour the boiling water over, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see is my cabbage. Just fills the colander about 3/4 way. I'm going to pour the boiling water over. Okay, so you can see I've poured the boiling water over it. It's quite hot, and it already shrank like just to halfway of the colander. Waiting for the meat to cook soft, and then we'll continue with the recipe. These are the outer leaves of the cabbage that I'm going to use to wrap the frikkadel in. So I'm just going to trim it, take the hard part off as much as possible. I'm going to take about 10 leaves. That should be enough for us. But you, of course, you'll adjust the recipe and the quantities of your ingredients according to your family needs. So here's the meat cooked soft. And you can see it's got a brown color, even color over the meat and the onion gravy. And this color is what you were looking for when you make any type of breeding. You want this deep brown color. So that's cooked. Now I'm going to add my salt. I didn't add salt yet. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. So frikadel's got to have salt in as well. You always adjust the salt afterwards. And then I am going to add my cabbage, which I have in the colander. And if you remember, I've put the boiling water over it so it can get soft. And just scrape it all out. And this cabbage is going to turn brown as well. This is one of my family's favorite dishes, and I make it quite often. The deep color of the brown of the meat will eventually fade a bit as it cooks with the cabbage. That's why you want it dark as possible. So I'm going to leave this to steam until it's completely soft. And I'll show you what my mother taught me. It's just to put these cabbage leaves on top so you can soften as well. And I'm just going to leave this there for about 5 minutes until it's soft, and then I'm going to remove it. Here's about 5 minutes that's passed. So my cabbage leaves are soft. I'm just going to remove the top ones. To be gentle, but you can't break at this stage. It's soft now. See? Cook in one pot. No need to use an extra pot or dish. All the flavors stay in the pot as well. Now this is cooked through. So I've made the frikadel on already, and I'll share the link of my previous video where I made the frikadel. So that's a very versatile recipe of my frikadel or meatballs. You can use it for this Kool Frikkadel cabbage breeding, or you can use it for tomato breeding, or for any type of dish that requires meatballs or frikadels. Okay, so here's the cabbage leaves cooled off a bit, and here's the frikadel, which I'll share the recipe with, a link to my recipe to you as well. And I'm going to take this leaf, just put it on my hand, take a meatball, nice decent sized meatball, put it in the center, and then wrap the leaf around the frikadel like that. So there you have it. I'll just continue with the rest. It's a bit warm still. I'll just take that, wrap it around. Put the seam side, the open part, down. It will help for you to stay close. Okay, and while we're doing this, I'll tell you about my website and my books that I've got available for purchasing. I've got my first book, Cape Malay and Other Delights cookbook. I've got it available in a hard copy and as an ebook. I've got my first children's cookbook, Cape Malay Little Chef's Cookbook. And then I've got sweet and savory ebook. Got a biscuits and cake ebook. And my newest one, which is being released today on Heritage Day, is Food for Every Occasion, and another one, Confit and Desserts. So you'll find all my books and all my further information on my website, which is www.capemalaycookingdelights.com. I'm also running a special where you can purchase my Zoom classes for only 65 Rand. You can join my classes online. Unlimited one-to-one support during and after the lessons as well via WhatsApp. And the best of all, my website is now user-friendly. It's available in more than one currency. So even if you're in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, you can log on to my website and purchase any item, and you can pay it in your currency. So isn't that brilliant news? I've worked hard for that to become a reality. So yeah, that's my gift to you, my Heritage Day gift to everyone. So here we have it, my frikadel wrapped. The last one, it broke a bit the leaves, but I just managed to cover it. So here I've got about 10 Kool Frikkadels, which is enough for a family of 4. Okay, so here you can see my cabbage is cooked through. Meat is soft, cabbage is cooked. Now I'm going to put these little blankets of cabbage leaves with frikadel on top. Turn the heat slightly lower. Now it's going to simmer until it's done. Spread pieces of butter and put it on top. The butter makes everything yummy. Just give it extra flavor. Last but not least, a good sprinkle of nutmeg. And there you have it. Now it should just simmer about 10 minutes until the frikadel is cooked through and you're ready to serve. Just put the lid on and leave it to simmer. And that's it. Kool Frikkadel, cabbage breedy, steaming away there. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you're going to try it sometime. I've had so many people who say it reminds them of their grandmother and of their mothers that passed away. So that's why the recipe to you today. And I hope you're going to join me for my next one, which is going to be very soon, inshallah. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.